Sunday. We gotta get ready for church. Brian! Brian! Wake up, honey! Brian, get up, get up. What? Okay, I'm gonna hop in the shower real quick. You get the kids ready, and then we'll get going.
No.
Okay?
Hey,
What?
you just lay out their clothes, because it takes me 5 minutes.
Honey.
That's perfect.
Seriously.
Jack. Well, we're already late for church.
Hey,
Go
Brian?
get yourself dressed.
Did you pick up my stuff from the dry cleaners?
Make it, break it. Make it, break it. Make it, break it.
Okay, Jack. I'm gonna make you waffles.
Can I have a sandwich?
Yes, but you gotta make it by yourself. Jack. Okay.
This is all I could find, and the zipper's broken.
All right. I'll go grab a safety pin.
I have the high score!
Make it, break it. Make it, break it.
Hannah, what are you doing?
Daddy, I'm painting your fingernails.
Well, that's great, sweetie, but go get dressed.
I need you to stay still. Okay, honey. Hannah!
Come on, let's go.
Okay, everybody needs to eat. Here you go.
I need one.
Here you go. Okay, here you go.
I forgot my shoes.
Honey, we gotta go back.
Here you go.
I want to take off my shoes.
Nobody's taking off their shoes. And I want everybody to understand that when we're what?
We made it.
Yep.
That was a funny video, but that is so true. Nobody has it all. All families are gross. All families are imperfect. Just like the family sitting next to you. Don't look at them. Sitting in front of you. They're all out lost. No family is perfect. For the past 2 Sundays, we've seen 2 families share their testimony. Does it mean they're perfect? No. They're just sharing how imperfect their family was. Is but they have the perfect God. Years ago, I felt so insecure and ashamed of my own family. I would say that my dad is just a security guard in the Philippines, my mom is just a bookkeeper, and I just felt ashamed about my family because we always have chaos and fighting. There is no week that will pass without fighting and yelling and shouting, and it's all loud and violent. I envy the families of my friends who goes to church, with complete pack of family, sit together, and seems so perfect. And what's happening with my slides? Bear with me, because I'm not perfect as well. Let me check. And I came to know Jesus when True Campus Crusade for Christ, if you know that multinational, international, third denominational Christian movement. And I happened to live with some of our missionary friends, observe how they live their life. And I was observing this one family. He is the national director of the whole Philippines, became the national director, then became the national the director of Southeast Asia. They're the head of family life in the Philippines. Their family seems so perfect. And whenever I observe their family, I would feel ashamed of my family because that family is just so ideal. I had moments of crying because I wish my family would be like them. Perfect. And I would feel that, and sometimes there are times that I would feel that, I felt that God's punishing me. Why God allowed me to be part of this family? So imperfect. Fighting here and there. I would always cry and blame God during those middle age of my life. My family was very imperfect. Their family is so perfect. Then years passed by. A couple that I idolize, the perfect couple, who have been raising perfect family, decided to wrote a book about parenting. Because they are the head of family life in this, right? So when they are about to publish the book, they asked their eldest child, can you read the book? And before we publish it, can you give us some comments? How's the book is written and the experiences that we shared here? To their surprise, their eldest child, the first time she read it, he or she read it. I'm not saying that pronoun. That person cried. And that person shared all the heartbreaks about that he or she had about the family. That person said, you have been very busy in the ministry. Where were you when I needed the news? You have been helping people here and there, but where are you? Where were you? You cannot even help your own kids. You're so concerned about the people than us. And the list goes on and on and on. And they ended up not publishing the book that they wrote. The family that I idolize, who seems so perfect, are not perfect. You probably, in the past 2 Sundays, have been finding the tension within you about the reality that you're living in with your family versus the ideal things that we want to be for our family. The reality is we have diverse family set up here. Some of you are blended family. Some of you are in the second marriage or in the third marriage. Some of you are raising your kids, not only your kids, but also your partner's kids. Some of you are also adjusting to your stepdad or to your stepmom, your step-siblings. And that's the reality that you're in. And then when you're listening for the past 2 Sundays for the family that I interviewed, there is a tension within you from the reality that you are experiencing to the ideal things that you want to have. My family would never be like their family. The ideal things of a family is husband, love your wife. Wife, submit to your husband. Children, obey your parents. Parents, do not exasperate your children, but train them in the instructions of the Lord. That's the ideal family. And when you're thinking about the reality of your family, you would have all these tensions in you. My family will never be ideal. My family will never be like their family. Looking into the reality of your family somehow will increase tension in your life in pursuit to what is ideal. My family will never be like their family. My family is so imperfect. Their family is so perfect. My future is doomed. That's why I behave like this. I think like this. That's why I'm like this. I'm like that because of my reality in my family relationship. And somehow you blame yourself. You blame your parents. You blame your grandparents. You blame your grandkids because there's a tension between the reality you're in and the ideally speaking about the family. The reality, the real things, and the ideal things in life. Listen, our family background shapes us. That's true. But we can also shape someone's family background. Your mom and dad have influence on how you live your life. How you see things, how you perceive things, how you believe in things, because of the family background that you have. But you must realize that how you live your life today will also influence someone else's family background. It could be your nieces, it could be your nephew, it could be your children. It's really up to you if you continue to live in that reality or you change it in pursuit to what is ideally speaking. At least they made it to the church. For some people, when they wake up, there's tension already. Finding, let's forget church. Stay here. They made it to that church, the video that we just watched. Whatever relationship you have today, meaning whatever reality you're in today, God placed you there for a purpose. Whatever the setup of your family relationship today, God placed you there for a purpose. Don't think you are less compared to other families who look or seem so perfect. Not at all. You are equal in the eyes of God. Your family is equally loved by God. Don't feel bad about your family setup. God placed you there for a purpose. When I look back, my life before, with my family relationship with my father and mother, I thank God. Because now I can see, Lord, thank you for showing me my imperfect family. Thank you for giving me the courage to love my imperfect father and my imperfect mother. In that way, God, I know now how to raise a family designed by you. How to live a godly legacy to the next generation, starting with my kids. And mind you, folks, the Bible has full of imperfect families. Adam chose Eve over God. Cain killed his brother Abel because of jealousy. Jesus himself was left in the temple. Remember that? He was left in the temple, and that is from Jerusalem. That's in Jerusalem. And their place, hometown, is in Nazareth. That's about 100 kilometers away. So Mary and Joseph went ahead, and then they realized when they get home, where's Jesus? And Jesus was 12 years old already. Oh, we misplaced our son. Then they went back. Probably around a day travel right back to Nazareth, somewhere down in Galilee, going to Jerusalem. Man, there are imperfect families in the Bible. Not perfect families. There is what I'm going to share with you. There's a famous imperfect family in the Bible. Start in Genesis. And that start in Abraham. Abraham, right? You know him. The God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Let's start with Abraham. Because Sarah, who is so concerned of her husband, she can't bear a son, so she offered her maidservant named Hagar, and they bear a son, Ishmael. And she felt so jealous. That's a very good idea, no? Oh, because I can't bear a son, sleep with my maidservant. No. So Sarah, after that, she complained to God, and then eventually had Isaac. After Sarah died, Abraham married another maidservant and bare more son. Isaac, on the other hand, married Rebekah. But Rebekah was also barren. Then one day they made love, and then they had two sons, twin brothers, two sons. Their name is who? Jacob and Esau. Now, this is what is amazing here. Look how imperfect the family. When the time came for her to give birth, Sarah or Rebekah, there were twin boys in her womb. The first to come out was red, that's referring to Esau, and his whole body was like a heavy garment, and they named him Esau. After this, his brother came out with his hand grasping at Esau's heel, so that he was named Jacob. He's trying to overpower, he's saying, oh, I want to go first, Then, the boys grew up, and Esau became a circle hunter. He's more of an outgoing person, physically fit person, a man of the open country. While Jacob, on the other hand, was a homebody. content to stay at home among the tents. This is so imperfect. Isaac, the son of Abraham, have some favoritism going on between his twins. Isaac, who had taste for the wild game because he loves this ongoing guy, loved Esau. It's supposed to be equal. But these are imperfect. This is an imperfect act. But Rebecca loved Jacob. So Esau, who's the favorite of Isaac? Esau. Who's the favorite of Rebecca? If you want to destroy a family, have some favoritism in your kids. I'm telling you, that will destroy a person. Never, ever, ever show favoritism. Love them equally. Love them equally. So the way they grew up, they become teenagers, and then eventually Esau went to hunting, and Jacob was doing some cooking and here and there. One day, Esau came from hunting. He was so tired, he was so hungry, and he arrived home, and he smelled the soup, the stew that Jacob was cooking that time. And then Esau said, he's the firstborn son, first among the twins, he said, "Can I have some of your soup?" But Jacob is a smart guy, or we call it smart, but he's a very silly guy. He said, Jacob replied, "First, tell me your birthright." No, birthright during that time is so important. If you're the firstborn, you get half or double of the whole inheritance of the household. Right? You get 50% in some cases. Or you can get the authority of the father, and you will be the head of the family when your father passes away. Jacob replied, "First, tell me your birthright." Come on, he's really greedy in the beginning. "Look, I am about to die." And Esau saw that. "I'm so hungry. I'm so tired, hunting and here and there. What good is the birthright to me at this very moment?" Birthright is so important. Never ever, that time, you should never ever celebrate your birthright. But Jacob said, "Okay, swear to me first." So swore an oath to him, selling his birthright to Jacob. Then what happened next? Then Jacob gave Esau some of the bread and some of the lentil stew. He ate and drank and then got up and then left, as if nothing happened. But you already swear. Okay, you can have my birthright. It's all yours. I don't care. I'm just hungry. At that very moment. Then Esau despised his birthright. Like what I said, birthright was so important during the time. You become the head of the family, you will have all the authority, you will have twice the inheritance of the rest of your siblings. Then sometime later, they've been growing as teenagers and all, probably months or probably years after, Isaac became old and can't see. Right? I'm telling you a story. Don't sleep. Okay? Isaac became old now and he can't barely see. So this is the time also that Isaac knows that this is the time for me to bless my kids. Now, blessing during the Old Testament talks about the last will and testament. So if the person is almost dying, they would give some last will and testament. So Isaac did, okay, get me some stew, hunt me some meat there, then make some stew, and then come back here, Esau, and I will bless you. Now Rebecca heard that conversation. Rebecca said, "Okay, Jacob, come here. You're my favorite son. You should get the blessing from your father." Esau should not get the blessing. What a terrible parenting. Huh? That is bad parenting. So Jacob said, "Oh mom, what if my dad would catch me? Don't worry, I will be cursed. Mom, don't." The mom said, "Don't worry. The curse, I'll take all the curse. Just go get the blessing from your father." Then Jacob, obedient to mother, he cooked some stew, went to his father Isaac. The father said, "Oh wait, you sound like Jacob. No, this is Esau. No, this is oh no, Jacob." And then he said, "No, I'm Esau, your son. Can I touch you?" And then I don't know how did they do that, right? Probably Rebecca just put some of the hair on her hair. And then when Isaac touched Jacob, "Oh yeah, you're hairy. You must be my son, Esau." Now, birthright is different from blessing. birthright, that's given to the firstborn son. Blessing is just the will and testament. You will be the head of this state. You will be having this money and here and there. So that's a blessing. So Jacob, since his favorite is Esau, Isaac, his favorite is Esau, he thought that that was Esau. He gave all his blessing to Jacob. That's supposed to be to Esau. Then this happened. Esau came back. Then, Dad, here's your soup. Can I have your blessing now? And Jacob said, who's that guy, boy, that I gave my blessing? And this is what happened. But then he said, your brother, Jacob, deceitfully took your blessing. Esau said, isn't that right name Jacob? This is the second time he has taken advantage of me. He took my birthright and now he has taken my blessing. So Esau was so mad. Dysfunctional, imperfect family. Esau held grudge, bitterness against Jacob because of the blessing of his father had given him. He said to himself, my dad almost dead. By the time I kill him, the days of the mourning for my father are near. Then I will kill him, my brother, Jacob. Rebekah heard that. The wife of Isaac, the mother of Jacob and Esau. And then she went to Jacob, Jacob, you have to leave right now because your brother will kill you. So Jacob ran away and stayed in Haran and found a wife there in somewhere in Mesopotamia. Then he was supposed to work for whose name? Rachel, right? But Laban, his father-in-law, deceived him and gave him Leah. Okay? Now he was a deceitful guy. Now he received the dose of his own medicine. He was deceived by Laban, but later on that life, he also deceived Laban with the animals, the sharing of animals. So that is what happened. That's a very imperfect family. You don't dare to deceive your in-laws, okay? If you want a wonderful relationship, never ever love your in-laws. I'm my in-laws' favorite son-in-law. Later that Jacob deceived Laban, his father-in-law. Because Laban deceived him from the start. They had some sons. Now this is another thing. When Jacob, he had some children with Leah, Rachel, and two other concubines, two other maid servants, right? Beulah and Zilpah. Now, there comes the first one named Joseph. Joseph is the 11th son of Rachel, the only son of Rachel before that time, because there's no Benjamin. Now, this is from imperfect family to imperfect family to imperfect family. Now, in the time that about Jacob, at age 17, because of jealousy, his own brothers sold him to slavery in Egypt. He served as Potiphar is the captain of the Egyptian king's guard. So he served at Potiphar's household, and then he was falsely accused of sexual assault. He was kicked out, he was sent to prison, and some scholars said he was there for about 3 to 12 years. So 17 years old, he was sold to slavery. He was there probably in prison for about more or less 10 years. Then he gained the favor of the prison guard, and then he got Pharaoh's he met Pharaoh's cupbearer. There you go. Thank you. He met Pharaoh's cupbearer and baker, and then interpret some dreams, and then he got out. Then eventually, at age 30, Joseph became the prime minister of Egypt. Okay? Are you still following me? Now, we're getting to the most exciting part. Okay? I'm just sharing to you the background of this. Famine came, and then many people died during that time. Then eventually, all the family of Israel, Jacob changed his name to Israel, the 12 tribes went to Egypt for some food, share or help. And they went there. Jacob happened to meet the brothers who sold him to slavery. There, he experienced the tension between reality and ideally speaking. The real thing, the situation that he is in, against what he's supposed to be. Should I punish my brothers who sold me to slavery, or forgive them? Show mercy or forgive them? Should I have all the power now to kill these brothers who sold me into slavery? Or should I show love and forgive them? But Joseph knows his purpose. He's probably thinking, I may not have a perfect family, but God brought me here for a purpose. So he realized that God allowed him to experience that imperfect family relationship that shaped his life. And he also knows that he will bring, he could change someone's life, someone's family life, by the way he would make his decision. So there is a battle between his reality and his ideally speaking. I just want to rhyme reality and ideally, but that's not correct. Okay? Real and ideal. Okay? Now, this is his time to shape someone else's life. He chose to forgive and not revenge. He chose to show love and mercy to the brothers who sold him to slavery. He said this. Then this is what happened. His brothers then came and threw themselves down before. This is the time that they realized, oh no! This is our brother Joseph, whom we sold about 13 years ago. 17 years old, he was sold to slavery, and he is now 30 years old. He became a prime minister of Egypt. So there's 13 years gap. Then they realized, oh, yes, this is Joseph. He looks like Egyptian, he speaks like Egyptian, but he is our brother Joseph. They bowed down before him and said, Lord, Joseph, I'm so sorry. We're your servant. Please spare us our lives. Don't kill us. And Joseph, fighting the tension between reality and what is real and ideal, Joseph said to them, don't be afraid of me. Am I God that I can punish you? God, you intended to harm me, but God intended all for good. He brought me to this position so I could save the lives of many people. When I look back my life, I could be a very simple person today, blaming my parents and blaming everything. But I took that life experience, being in an imperfect family, to mold me to the kind of person God wants me to do today. But this is what I want you to understand. Okay? We're getting there. How come Joseph responded this way? Yes, he's so vocal with his relationship with God. He ran away from Potiphar's wife. He doesn't want to engage into a sexual intimacy with Potiphar's wife. He focused on serving the Lord and making his life right before God. That's one thing. But there is one experience that Joseph would never forget. And this is the one thing that I want you to learn from this message series. His imperfect family will shape his life. Yet he knows that he can shape someone else's life. Let's go back to Jacob. Rewind. So Daddy Jacob fled from his brother Esau. Right? Remember that? Because Esau wanted to kill him. One day, while Joseph was still young, there's still no Benjamin, God told Jacob, go back and reconcile with your brother Esau. Wait, if I go back, Esau will kill me. But God said, I will be with you. And Jacob said, you better be with me. because my brother would kill me. So Jacob was so scared. So what he did on his entourage, he sent animals first. And not, mind this, the only animals are 200 female goats, there are 20 male goats, 200 ewes, 20 rams, 30 camels, and the list goes on. Cow, bulls, donkeys, and all. As a peace offering. So when Esau was heard, oh, there's some animals coming here. Who's this? What are these things? So the servant said, oh, this is from my master, Jacob. His peace offering for you. Then while on their way, this is what happened. So hearing that, Esau said, oh, my brother is coming. And what happened next? Jacob, look up, probably in the wilderness and the desert. And when he was, oh, there was Esau coming with his 400 men. Wait a minute. I thought that this is the welcome party. I thought it's the family that will welcome us. Lord, you better be with me. Because these are 400 warriors coming to me and my family. So, Jacob divided the children among Leah, that's his first wife, Rachel, his favorite wife, and then 2 other female servants. So he organized his family. Oh, 400. This is what we can do. Let's organize our family. He put the female servant and their children in front. If they will attack us, you die first. No, that's not the case, okay? I don't know. that's not the case here. But Jacob was just putting, okay, just to introduce. Bilhah, Zilpah, and two sons, go ahead. And then Leah and her children, okay? Next. And then, notice, Rachel and Jacob. Joseph. Joseph is the only child that mentioned in this account. And Joseph was placed in the rear end of that entourage. And Joseph was probably around 12 years old at the time, or more or less than that. And Joseph has a good view of what is going to happen. If my uncle Esau would come and kill all my family, I could see that from where he's at. If there's some reconciliation that will happen, Joseph could see that too. He himself went on ahead, so this is Jacob. He organized his family, and then he went on ahead of the family. And while he was going near, and the encounter is getting closer and closer, he bowed down to the ground 7 times as he approached his brother Esau, his twin brother whom he deceived, whom he took the birthright and the blessing from his father Isaac. So when Jacob was bowing down, Master, sorry, Master, I'm so sorry. It's a gesture of humility, and everyone can see that. And Joseph from afar, he can see that. He's probably holding with his mom, Rachel. He's like, what's going on? And my dad is bowing to my uncle Esau. And I heard the story in the family that they have some bad beef with each other. And then the female servant and the children approached and bowed down. 2 kids, and 2 wives. Next, Leah and her children came down and bowed down. Last of all, there you go again, the name Joseph and Rachel, and they too bowed down. So this is what I want you to understand, folks. Joseph would kill his brothers, but he observed this, how his uncle Esau forgiven his daddy Jacob. He was a witness of family reconciliation between his dad and his uncle. Yes, he had a relationship with God, but at that very moment when his brothers who sold him to slavery. He could have said, my time. This is the time I could show my revenge. I'm gonna kill all of you, cut you into pieces slowly, right? Or feed you to the lions. But he saw that situation with his daddy bowing down to his uncle asking for forgiveness. That story impacted how he wrote his story. And that decision of Joseph surely impacted his own brothers. So this is what I want you to learn from this series. Your story will be part of someone else's story in the future. Make sure you write your story correctly. As I always said, you cannot do anything for your ancestors, but you can do something for your descendants, the generation down the line. Joseph chose to write his story correctly because he saw how his daddy Jacob and uncle Esau wrote their story correctly. Your story will be part and will impact someone's story one day. I pray that you will write your own story correctly. My family was not only imperfect, the side of Rohan and my side, but you can see there different kinds of sins and curse. I have a cousin who got pregnant at the age of 13. Divorce, fighting between parents and kids, like violently. And looking at that, I made a commitment that I want to choose. I choose to cut the curse. And I am committed to write my story correctly and pass on blessing to the next generation. Her family was members and different kinds of family sins, generational sins. My family, our own flaws. I don't want to see that from my sons down the rest of generation. I want them to do things based on how they see my life. One day, my grandkids or great-great-grandkids would say, do you know why I love the Lord? Because my grandfather, Jeff Pasco, loved the Lord. Do you know, my grandkids would say, do you know why I respect women? Because I saw my granddaddy Jeff respect my grandmommy. I choose to cut the curse and become an instrument of blessing to my son down to the next generation. And I pray that you too will do the same thing. Write your story correctly. William Mark did the same thing. He chose to cut the curse. Daddy Gadi did the same thing. He chose to cut the curse. And that's why Seth, Matthew, and Bernice followed the example of their daddy and mom. That's why Ira, Aaron, and Hannah followed the example of their daddy and mom. Your story will be part of someone's story one day. Your children, your grandchildren, your family, your extended family members will quote your story one day. That's why I am like this, because of my daddy, Lolo, and into possibilities. I am like this today because of my dad, because of my mom, because of my granddad, because of my grandpa. Or I am like this today because they love the Lord. That's why I respect my husband. I love my wife because I can see that on my lolo and lola. Make sure to write your story correctly. Whether you like it or not, it will impact someone's story one day. Are we communicating? Don't think about the past. It's past. Don't think about the mistakes, the failures, the sins that we have committed. It's past. Don't think about insecurities and all. Be ashamed of your family. Cannot do anything about that. Focus on your family today. Your brothers, your sisters. You have to be a channel of blessing to your parents, to your kids. Can you read this again? One more time. Ready? Begin.